Hey, it's me, RJB, and today we've got a match between Question from clan 1588 against a player called llllllK. Now there's a small chance I have done a replay with one of these two players, well, out of this set before, because this is going to be a set of replays. I'm not entirely sure how many, what kind of a best of it is, we'll find out at the end. That's sometimes the downside, like sometimes you'll find 6 replays and you're going in under the assumption that it might possibly be a best of 7, but then it turns out it's a best of 9 and one player just wins 5 games and the other person wins 1. So it's kind of hard to, without knowing what you're going into, what it is going to be. Anyway, llllllK showed some really high APM and EAPM when I ran these replays through the SCR chart EPM/EAPM checker. Now, this doesn't always mean that these replays are going to be good. It is somewhat of an indication if the EAPM is very high and consistently very high, that the player does have a certain bottom level of skill. Now, it doesn't mean that the player is smart or knows what they're doing. But I have high hopes for this. Barcode L starts, well, I'm just going to call him Barcode. Barcode L here starts off with a Nexus, followed up by a Gateway, because both players know what the opponent's races are. They always pick their races. Question here is on the Zerg. He's a pretty good Zerg player, but I think he is mostly a Protoss player, as a lot of fastest map players primarily are. This Protoss, though, is very good. One of the best fastest map Protosses I have seen, well, basically ever. I'd say he's one of the best Protoss players, although do know that there are like 10 or 15 Protoss players of this level on fastest map. So yeah, he started with a Gateway, a Forge, and a Gas. That is a little bit different from what we usually see. He's taking some liberties here with how risky he is playing this one, because he could have died to a cheese here. Likewise, Question is similarly playing very risky here by not saving up larva for Zerglings to help assist his choke. Instead, he goes for 2 hatchers right at the bat and makes a lot of drones, no Zerglings whatsoever. He got scouted pretty late here though, so maybe that's indicated that he could have gone for, well, basically no Zerglings, but nonetheless, it was an extremely risky choice here. Also great control there from Barcode L, trying to deny those sunken colonies there in the front at the choke from being built by blocking it with his drone probe. But Question there smartly somehow manages to get that creep colony down regardless, which means that we're going to be seeing that single Zeta here trying to get in, but possible he gets in. There's only a single sunken, but there's only like 15 HP left on that single Zealot, so he's not going to achieve much. Maybe kill 1 Zergling. He tries to get the probe first, but he just turns around for, oh great, little Zergling micro there from Question. Keeps the Zergling alive on very little HP, which means that the probe is going to keep running in circles and just get information for a while. Never mind, it dies rather quick. I thought it would stay alive a little bit longer, but Barcode L couldn't keep it alive. He does have a Stargate finished up here. He's got a second gateway there on the way as well. He has a Robo facility being warped in, and he finished his Citadel off the Dune. This is a very, very fast tech progression here for Barcode L. He's still risking it very hard. He could have died to any form of cheese or even just a Zergling mass all in here from Question if Question had found Barcode L pretty much instantly. But he went to the wrong side of the map with all of his Zerglings there. You can see here, went to the right side of the map instead of the left side, which is the wrong side and not the correct side. Which gives Barcode L pretty much all the time he needs to very comfortably progress into the tech that he chose, which is in this case a Corsair, as being very disruptive here in taking down this Overlord. Very, very annoying. And the Overlord's going to go down, and Question is going to get supply stack for a little while. He's going to have to progress into Hydralisks very, very quick. We already have a shuttle not yet finished. It is still on the way. Well, it isn't even queued up, so it's not on the way. Doesn't have the minerals for it yet. He has Psionic Storm queued up. A support bay there on the way as well. No Templars in the queue just yet. Do have some Zealots there. Dark Templar also in the making here. For some reason he's making a Dark Templar. I think he's going to try to kill the choke with Dark Templars. Not something we often see. It happened to me once, and sadly enough it worked because I wasn't expecting it, and I think Question isn't expecting it either. But this is more or less a normal map strategy where you make very quick Corsairs into very quick Dark Templars and then keep killing those Overlords with the Corsairs. Try to keep the Zerg supply stuck, but most of all try to avoid any form of detection of being able to spot those Dark Templars and prevent them from dealing any damage. But he very smartly makes a Spore Colony here in the front, so that he can hang all of his Overlords over the Spore Colony, but at the same time he protects his choke, which wasn't even his goal. But he protects his choke there from his Dark Templars unintentionally, but it works out very nice, which also goes to show that whatever Barcode or Barcode L is doing is a very niche strategy that practically doesn't really ever get results unless the opponent just gets caught with their pants down, which Question most certainly isn't at the moment. He's definitely prepared for this. The Corsairs have lost most of their effectiveness, they're running away. Question has been droning up really hard, only on 37 of them, whereas we're on 44 here for Barcode L, who has just now finished a 3 Templar drop. Or is he going to go for 3 Dark Templars first, land them into Question's base, who currently has no Overlords heading on his side. He does have an Overlord there at his lair, but it is flying away, so no detection there at his lair, which might make these Dark Templars very effective if those Corsairs come back in to try and deny any Overlords there from detecting anything at the lair. But in he goes, and there's no Overlord anywhere close, and he's just gonna go for Overlord spawns just at the same time as he goes in, so he gets about 4 or 5, maybe 6 drone kills, 7 drone kills, because it's 1 shot, 1 kill. There's 7 drone kills there in total or so. I might be off by 1 or 2, but he gets something done with those Dark Templars. Not as grand as he would have hoped, but 7 drones, or 6 drones, whatever it is always better than nothing. So we have the first real shuttle drop being loaded up and flying cross map. Well, yeah, technically cross map. Going to the top side here and entering Question space under the support of those Corsairs, but it flies straight into Hydralisk because, well, it's not smart to have your Corsairs distract on the exact same location you're flying your drop in, although another drop here coming in from the bottom side, and this time there's nothing in between, and he's just gonna get in there and try to snipe it. He's gonna try to snipe it, but he's responding in time, he's responding and focusing on something else, and he loses most of his drones there to the storm, and loses some more drones there on the gas to the storm as well, and there's a double storm there and a lot of kills. Very unluckily for Question, he just spent all of his minerals, and he's got no minerals left, and I'm 100% sure he is feeling quite bad about that one. Having spent all of his minerals just prior to the drop, and not being quick enough to cancel anything he had in production, because most of it was drones anyway. Nonetheless, that hurts really hard, because he went from 54 drones down to, well, maybe 44, but he went down to 18. And it's pretty much one of those things that, as a Zerg player, you just know that your life became almost impossible if it wasn't already impossible. It's going to be very difficult for Question to even get back into this game, because he's going to have to make only drones for a long time here. And there's going to be drops non-stop, and possibly a frontal attack here happening on his choke there as well, which currently at the moment is only about 3 Sunkens strong. So Corsairs once again going into this track, but another drop coming in from the bottom side, but this time it gets intercepted and the storm stop. No, it doesn't even get a storm off on the Hydralisk, so nothing happens there. Question stays alive a little while longer on 38 drones now, and possibly building a couple of Spore Colonies or some. No, it's an Evo Chamber. So he's not going to build any static defense around his minerals. He's just going to keep relying on those Hydralisks and keep relying on his awareness. Once again, Corsairs going in to kill some Overlords. 3 Spores are in the front, and I think he also saw that there's only 3 Sunkens there in the front, so he just sends out some of his Zealots to try and deal damage there in the front to take down a couple of those Sunkens and set himself up for a better position, because now it means that Question is going to have to pull some Hydralisks to the front while also going in with a drop, but drop is going to sneak in between. Scorches are on the way. Scorches get... Ooh! Templar down the low ground. Templar gets a storm off, but all the drones have already ran to safety. Question is now playing this really well, but his front is wide open. He's gonna need some lurker upgrades there. Some lurkers are in the front. He wants to stay alive, possibly put his Hylas there. But this is gonna be very difficult here for Question, because Question is... he's moving out into the middle. What's this? What's this? Oh, he's pulling back. Alright. But that's just a little bit of an overreach there. He tried to look for some shuttles on the middle, but the shuttle's coming in from the bottom side here and he's splitting them up for two different directions at the same time. Let's see how are they going to come in. So this one's going to come in from the bottom side. It gets intercepted. Templar gets low. Templar doesn't storm on the middle, but another comes in from the top side, and there's no vision there on the hill. But this one is going to reach all the way to the minerals, and Question is not looking at the moment. In comes the drop, and one, it goes down. Three storms in total. Kills almost all of the drones, and Question right here now knows that this is pretty much a lost cause, so he just leaves the game, probably called something along the lines of a GG, not too sure, but that means the score is 1-0 for Barcode LK. Well, Barcode L, Barcode K. Just sounds a little bit silly to call it Barcode L, Barcode K. I don't like saying it. But yeah, if Question had managed to keep that drop from hitting, he would have had a pretty good chance, I think. Because Barcode L, Barcode K has not been consistent with his pro production, and he wasn't as big as he appears. Although he was adding on a lot of gateways there was still a chance, still a realistic chance here for Question to crawl himself back into the game. Anyway, it's time for replay number 2. The score is 1-0, and we want to know who's going to win the next one. So, I think this replay has both players on the exact same races. So that's going to be interesting to see whether Question can this time around stay alive and avoid certain destruction. That is the question. That question is posed with today. Can the Barcode L, Barcode K come out victorious once again? Something that both players have going in their advantage is that the opponent is very close to them. Some might say it's a disadvantage, some might say it's an advantage. I certainly think it is an advantage because attacking becomes very easy for both players. But if the defense is successfully done by the Zerg can pretty much instantly counterattack with anything he wants, or he can just fly over overlords right over this little hill here and land straight into L Barcode, his base. The first 2 minutes have passed. Let's slow it down. So once again, he's trying to do some cheeky probe harassment, but Question has some good drone control, so he's not going to lose any of his drones to that probe. The probe's just going to be annoying while he's doing the exact same build order as last game, but this time his Cybercore is a little bit quicker than it was last time around. And Question is not making a second hatchery this time. Well, he's not a second macro hatchery. He has his choke hatchery, he has one macro hatchery, and he's got a probe running around, so Zerglings are chasing it. And yeah, Barcode LK is definitely playing safer this time. He's also making a sunken pretty early on because he knows that Zerglings are a real threat this time around. He already has Cybercore finishing very soon. But I think his tech progression is going to be about 10 or 20 seconds quicker this game around than it was last time. I feel he's going for the exact same build order because that's a Stargate. And there's another pylon below it. Pylon there, the choke as well. Overlord didn't see the Zealot there because it's a little bit too far away. Zerglings are scouting the map, so not much happening yet. Except for casing that annoying probe and adding on 2 more hatcheries because he wants to he feels a little bit lucky. Most of the time people go for just 1, but he goes for 2 right away, both at the same time. The exact same time, to be precise. Look at this, almost the exact same time. So yeah, he got 1 gas on the way there, and he's not really adding Sunguns to the front because he knows that L Barcode K does not have any units, otherwise they would have already arrived. Got a Zergling running into his base now. He's going to spot out that Citadel and the Robo. Or is it Templars Archive? It's not a Robo. So this time around he's going for a faster Templars Archive instead of going for a Robo in addition as well. So I think once again he's going for Dark Templars to try and mow down the front by denying Overlord detection with his Corsair. So he's going to try the same trick. Last time the trick didn't work, but the drop trick did. He now has robotics on the way there as well. Corsair has finished. Corsair is going to run into those overlords very quick. But I think Question already has an Evo chamber finished up. And he's making a couple of spores. And Hylas Den. So he's actually pretty quick once again with getting protection for his overlords, but this creep colony is almost done, morphing into a spore colony. So the Corsair, knowing that it's going to die if it stays, runs to the other overlords, but there's another spore colony there as well. There's no option other than running away for this Corsair. But it did its job. Well, it did its job, but it couldn't lead into a follow-up of Dark Templars, which means that we're now going to have to wait a little bit longer for Barcode L, to get his other robo facilities up instead of having his Dark Templars coming in to deal damage. Was it worth it? I don't know. Was it worth trying to go for the Dark Templar Corsair trick once again? Oh, we just don't know. Nonetheless, he's got a support bay finishing up there in the front. A very risky placement there, but at least Question doesn't have his overlord there at the hill anymore, which he had there earlier. Instead, he had to run him back to the spores, once again stacking up more overlords here at the spores. He didn't get a lair yet. He's mostly focusing on getting more hatcheries, and that is another spore. So he's got 2 spores there at his hatchery, or his main. Hylas now on the way. He's got 6 finished up already and 5 more on the way. 6 more on the way for 12. He's got Hylas speed finished up just now. We've got Zealot Lags on the way here for Barcode. And he's got Reavers on the way. No shuttles yet. 2 Reavers. I think he's gonna just crawl them to the choke there and try to brute force his way in. But there's also a chance he's going for a wave of shuttles after those Reavers. Actually, he has 1 shuttle here. So that's gonna be a very early drop because he's got a Templar, 2 Templars there, 1 Templar under the Corsair right here, hiding from sight. Yeah, a very quick Templar drop. That's the first move he's going to go for. He's got a nice little opening here with that Corsair, denying overlords from getting vision, although he's going to try to go in from the bottom side of the map. He's going to try to distract first, I think, with the Corsairs, try to draw Hylas away, but he's going to fly straight into Hylas, but Hylas are running away, but Hylas are turning around because he immediately notices that there is a shuttle with Templars there, and he doesn't even have Storm upgrade, which means he's not going to lose any of his Hydralisks to a Templar Storm either. A little bit of luck there for Question, because losing some of his Hydralisks would have costed him, I think, by at least, well, it depends on how many he loses, it would have lost him maybe 500 minerals in investment, which is always not worth it, but the Hydralisk would have served their purpose of denying a drop. But everything working out really well for Question here. A little bit of luck is always, well, always nice to have, because that means you don't have to fight for something. It's just given to you for free, and your job is to just take advantage of it. The Barcode K is really progressing pretty fast here. All of his tech up and running, 2 Stargates, I think about 7 gateways. He's building a skeleton of a base, and of course is aiming to go for that next attack, but he's waiting for shuttles to finish. It's a little bit slow. There's a lot of time passed in between that drop attempt and the next one. Question already has 1, 2, there's another 4, 7, 8 hatcheries there for Mako in his base. He built 2 of them towards the corners. He can start building spores there quicker than if he had to progress his creep colonies to the sides. That's a smart little thing he's doing. That's a Spire for Scorches. He really likes to use Scorch. Oh, there's a wide opening here for that shuttle to fly straight in. He's got 2 drops there at the same time. 1 drop is going to hit the drones. No, the drones are running away. The drones all went down there. Only 1 of them stayed alive. It's a pretty smart setup here. I didn't catch it in my screen, but he did an overlord, a Reaver drop here on the bottom corner, which caught Question's attention. And then another drop there coming in at the same time, storming on the drones. A great little setup there. He's got not much to defend himself with, but Barcode K first has to start throwing a couple more punches. He could have chosen to mix it up and simply go for a frontal attack with Zealots, but I think the best course of action right now is to try and hit another Storm drop and really put an end to Question's economy. But it's a little bit risky. I think a frontal attack would have yielded him a more safer, well, would it be a more safer option, because it's guaranteed damage dealt. whereas this Storm drop is going to be a little bit of a gamble, because we don't know whether Question will fall short in defending against it, or if it's going to hit. So Barcode L is taking his chances here. But nonetheless, in he goes, but he flies straight into Scorches and into Hydralisk, and has to unload the Reavers, but the Reavers are going to kill most of those Hydralisks there on the low ground, although he only kills almost everything except 2, but those 2 are going to go down to a Zealot. So Zealot there in the mix actually winds up being the difference in making this drop still somewhat of a success, because that's, I think, about 12 or 13 Hydralisks lost, and they cost 75 each and 25 gas. That's a lot of minerals lost, at least over 750. Kind of painful, and it makes this follow-up drop easier, and he's going to split that up, but there's once again Scorches and Hydralisk in between. He dodges the Scorches here, Storm coming down on the drones, but the drones are running away. He still kills about 20 drones there though, and a lot of Reavers also killing Hydralisk here on the bottom corner. Can Question make it through? Can he stay alive here? He's fighting for his life. He comes in from all sides, but the Reavers simply get picked up, although one gets left behind by accident. And he keeps 2 of his Reavers alive. And yeah, that's a successful attempt there. That's a successful drop. But I really would like to see llBarcodeK go for a frontal attack here to draw all those Hydralisks to the front and potentially kill them, and then come in with a drop at the same time. But he is spending his money really well, because do note, we're only 11 minutes in. And he's on 68 probe, so he's doing really well. He's adding more Robos there to the side, more Stargates. I think he's not going to go for any Gateway mass attacks, because his Gateway count is still very low. Those approach is going to be pretty much the same as it has already been, but Question has made some lurkers, and there's no observers or detection out for... Well, he's got an observer on the way though, so he knows he needs observers. So yeah, the Reavers once again being locked there on the low ground, but there's lurkers there, and they're going to take down those Reavers very quick, but the drop comes in at the same time there on the top side as well, but this time Question is ready to intercept, and he focuses down both shuttles, but there's 4 Templars there in the mix, and he gets a storm off on the drones all once again, and Question not electing to dodge, and relying on his ability to snipe the shuttles, falls short. Still has 17 drones left, and he's got things in his base, well, that have just been cleaned out. Yeah, it's very painful here for Question. Losing his drones 3 times already. He does have 30 drones now, and if he just plays this calmly, which I don't think he's going to have the chance to, he will recover. But that observer there really doesn't... Oh, it goes down to the Scorch. Great awareness there from Question. Which means that Barcode L is going to have to take a little bit of a longer period of time before he can drop here on the bottom corner once again, because he needs detection for those lurkers. He's going to have to fly in with a drop instead, going straight for the minerals, or maybe dropping somewhere else in the base of Question. So that's 6 Reavers, and he's not going to be able to load them all up because he needs another wave of shuttles, but that means the next drop is going to be pretty hard hitting. He's got a new observer there on the way. Mass drop here is going to fly in over the bottom side, but once again there's Spores and Hydralisks in between. In he goes. What's he going to hit? That's the question. Drones are not yet pulling away. That's simply too many shuttles to snipe, so he starts pulling away his drones. And pretty great storm there comes down on the drones, but most of the drones are staying alive. 31 still alive, but he... Wow. He wasn't 45, so we did still lose about 14. Another Templar there on the low ground, but he doesn't get a storm off, and the drones are staying alive, running away. This time around, he is playing it safer by pulling his drones just in time, instead of pulling his drones a little late. But nonetheless, llBarcodeK is having a good game here. He's having a pretty good game. A lot of Reavers here about to be loaded up because a wave of shuttles is finishing up as well. I count 8 Reavers, and 8 Reavers pretty damn painful. Also Observer this time around hanging outside of the Spore detection and the Over detection on the bottom corner, which of course means he's going to drop there on the bottom corner, although he's setting out courses here to the top side because he wants to clear out all these Overlords that are providing vision for Question. He still does have some Zerglings there. They can move down and burrow next to the hill to still get detection. Scorch is chasing the course there though. Yeah, he just sends out new Overlords there to the top side to get detection and vision of that entire top portion, which more or less forces llBarcodeK to fly in from the side here. This is a lot of shuttles here, though. I think that's about 12, 11 shuttles. He's got more Reavers on the way. He's got a pile of them stacked up. Scorches eventually did come into llllllK's base. Also do note he's got 2 Templars here as anti-mass drop. So he's going to fly in from the top side. Nope, that's Corsairs. He's going to clear out a path first. He's taking a lot of time here. He's taking a lot of time. The last drop we saw flew in at about 11:40, I think, and it's been about 2 or 3 minutes since he's last dropped, which means Question is having a lot of time here to recover, which highlights the importance of being fast with your mass drops or your drops, but you don't want to give your opponent time to recover, which Question has most certainly had right here. He doesn't have lurkers at his main, but Mass Reavers here unloading next to his main. Drones are running away, drones are getting stormed, all drones are going down still. Will these Hylas coming in be enough to kill all those Reavers? A couple of Reavers are clipping into each other, preventing them from firing as they're clipping, but nonetheless they're coming in. Scorch coming in there as well to kill the shuttles, but it looks like these Reavers are just gonna keep dealing a lot of damage. He's pulling lurkers in as well. Lurkers, alright, oh, he picked them up. He's unloaded them right on top of the lurker, and he kills the lurker by pure chance. And now he's going for the lair. Will the lair survive or will the lair go down? The lair is pretty much past half HP, and everything there does eventually go down, but that is a significant amount of damage and a lot of drones lost. Also a bunch of drones here on the other side of the map. 7 of them, he has 21 drones left, so he lost a lot of them. A lot of them went down there. And a lot of Hylas went down as well. His supply is 100 behind his opponent, and llllllK is going for another mass drop, still no frontal attack, even though a frontal attack would be very, very strong. He wants to go in on the bottom side here once again because he saw that the lurkers were pulled away, which means that he doesn't need detection here. He can just load here onto the low ground. There's Sunkens there right next to his unloading point, which means that those Sunkens might go down, might not go down, because those Highlanders there coming in to assist are going to help kill those Reavers. But the Reavers there being microed pretty well with the shuttle, and he keeps them alive, and he loses one of them eventually to the Sunken, but he cleared out the Sunkens and a couple of Highlanders there on the side. So pretty great play here from llllllK. Clears out more Reaver. Alright, he dies on the very last shot there. Killed pretty much every single Hylisk that Question had in his base, who's now on 47, 46 drones. And booming new Snuggles in the bottom corner. The next drop is once again a little bit slow. Not sure why his drops are slow. He could have already had another drop. He's got Corsairs on the top side though, still being annoying, and killed a lot of Overlords now. Question is 81 max supply cap. He's got 74 supply in total though. He needs new Overlords. He needs a lot of things actually. He needs a lot of things. Yeah, Barcode L hasn't really built anything for the past 10 minutes. Well, 7 minutes, but he's still consistently dropping and flying in. A lot of Sunkens here now around the lair. Will this lair go down? Well, that's the question. He unloads right on top of those lurkers. The lurkers this time around not getting targeted, and he dodges with most of his drones there. 44 of them still alive, and the damage on the lair is not sufficient to take it down. Actually, nothing even hits the lair. He does take down his hatchery here on the top side, though. Not sure what's up with that one, but it happens. It happens. Sometimes Reavers just fire on random stuff. But Question keeps most of his drones alive there, and he somehow stays alive despite this being one of those games where he should have already died long ago, because he's just getting hit constantly. He's constantly getting hit by L Barcode, or Barcode L, however you want to call him. Both are correct. I just don't... It's such a silly name. I'm gonna go for a drink. I'm drinking some mango guave, or guave, however you pronounce it. It's mango guave. It's a very tasty drink. I really like that combination. Alright, so once again, he is taking his time. He can already fly in a drop, but he's electing not to. He can pretty much land anywhere inside of Question's base and force Question to lose a lot of his investments into what he already has. He's on 85 supply. He got more Overlords. No, he doesn't have Overlords on the way, actually. He's just building stuff. Building stuff mostly, while on his 44 drones, trying to get more minerals. He's got a Queen's Nest on the way for a hive. And this next drop from llllllK, he's just taking so long. He really has to be more frequent with his drops, because he should have won long ago. His attacks, though, are very strong. There's just so much time in between. So much time in between. And he's giving Question a lot of time here to build up, ramp up, get stronger. Even though he hasn't gotten much stronger in the past 9 minutes or so. He's added on all of Sunkens for his defense, so his defending should be rather easy for him. Though Mass Drop coming in from the top side here, and I think he's going to drop there on the top corner, far away from those lurkers, and force Question to feed his Hydralisks into those Reavers. Another drop coming in here from the side as well, but this one is just a distraction. Flies into a Spore, it goes down to the Spores there on the side. So no Hydralisk getting pulled in. He's going for recalls next. That's beautiful. That's nice to see, because I want to see some recalls here, which could be more wow, it's hard to pronounce. Frequent. It's got a lot of hallucinations there as well. Question, once again, on 116, almost 120 supply. Higher than he has been actually this entire game. So now we've looked at Question here. Untouched for 3 minutes, but 2 mass drops coming in at the same time. One there on the top, one there on the side. This one stormed the highlights to clear a path, but he also incidentally storms his own Arbiters and hallucinations. So actually, nothing. What? Alright. Yeah, I'm at a loss for words here. He stormed his own Arbiters to death, his own hallucinations, and he wound up not recalling anything whatsoever. He tries to go in once again. This time around, he gets a good recall off here right in top of those highlights, right in a really good position there, although within the range of those Sunkens. But he's going to kill those Sunkens very quick there nonetheless. A lot of highlights there coming in from the top side and from the bottom side, and they're going to get us around on the Reavers. The Reavers going to go down eventually, and they actually don't get his fleet. Although he pretty much killed all the tech there. He killed Spire, Queen's Nest, and Evo Chamber, called a Sunkens there, and a lot of highlights, so he did get something done. Just kind of surprised that he managed to storm his own Arbiters, trying to clear a path for those same Arbiters to fly through, and incidentally killing his own Arbiters before recalling and giving Question a lot of time there to make more Hydralisks to set himself up for a more successful defense. So now we've got new Spire, new Spire on the way. I think a new Evo Chamber there as well, and he's loading up some Hydralisks to put them somewhere. Scarecrow's being sacrificed there in the front. There's still only 600 in the front. L Barcode, he seriously doesn't want to attack this chokehold. He just wants to go for shuttle drops and arbiter recalls. He just wants to shuttle his units in behind enemy lines, even though sometimes just attacking the frontal defense of your opponent is the better option there. It might put more pressure on Question by doing that, because now once again, actually these recent attacks have been more frequent. I think there's been about a minute in between this Arbiter Recall and the previous one. He drops right on top of those Sunkens and Lurkers. There's an Observer there in the mix though, but I think these Reavers are not going to get as much done as he would have wanted them to, although I think he killed about 20 Hydralisks there, maybe even 30. I think about 25. Oh, this one is going to be the big one. Big, massive recall here with a lot of hallucinations arriving on the scene next to the Hive. And he drops right next to the Hive, and he's going to shoot on the drones. Drones are running away, though. 52 of them still alive, only 48 now. He's going to go for the Hive. The Hive is going to go down. The Hive is on very low HP. The Hive goes down. Goes down in the end, and that one is a very painful hit there on Question, who will now suffer from reduced income. Also, depending on which direction his drones go into, his income might be higher or lower than it was previously. Like, he wants his drones to go down to the bottom side, not to the top side, because this distance is bigger. Alright, he adjusts his path because he knows he simply has to kill this Spore here. So now, well, actually no, he's going to have a pretty good path here on the side here for those drones to walk. Sometimes they go around it, which adds like half the distance. But he just goes in a straight line here, which means the drones are going to keep mining at not maximum capacity, but at the maximum capacity and ability that they're currently able to. But that's a pretty big hit there for Question. Pretty big hit there on Question. Great advantage there for L Barcode has been built, although he's had the advantage pretty much the entire game, but Question has somehow managed to defend. I'm not sure how, but he's managed to do it. He's managed to do it, although this is massive. This is bigger than the previous one. This is... I'm going to count this one. I won't let me select all the Reavers at the same time, because some of them are cloaked and some of them are not. Like right here you can see these are cloaked. I can select those. I can select these, but alright, we've got 10 of them. We've got 10 of them. Where is he going to fly in from, though? That's the question. He's hanging his Arbiters on the side because he doesn't have energy for a recall yet. He's going to have to wait for energy, although these two almost have enough energy, but he might go in a little bit too early. I think got spotted out by those two overlords, though I don't think Question noticed. Question though, right now. Guardians, Sunkens, Lurkers, Scorches, everything, every single unit that a Zerg can make, he pretty much has them right here around his hive. Well, main. Backup main. Backup. It's a backup. So you just drop here coming down inside of Question space. With Scorch coming in to kill the Arbiter, coming in to kill the Observers as well, and Guardian's going to move forward to help kill those Reavers, and this one pretty much gets nothing done, but it's two separate recalls at the same time, so the entire choke there in the front has gone down, and now there's no full defense left for Question, and Question's going to have to pretty much sacrifice all those highlighters to try and take down these Reavers on two separate locations here, and he's going to get some done. Although the Guardians there are taking an easy time to kill those Reavers, but the Reavers are going to kill this tech here on the side though. The Spire, two Spires and two Highlanders, then they're in risk of going down. One of them has gone down, the second one's going to go down as well. Two Spires have gone down. He has one more Great Spire there at his backup main though, but nonetheless a lot of damage here received by Question, who's having trouble defending this. A lot of stuff has been lost, and Zealots there in the front have taken down the hatchery there as well, now running in to kill whatever they can find, or just sacrificing their lives. So a lot of damage dealt here, material damage, but no damage to the income, which gives Question a little bit of time to keep building up, although he has lost a lot of his hatcheries now. He's only on 4 hatcheries, 5 hatcheries there in total. That's pretty much nothing at all. So the question is going to be, what is llbarcode going to do? Is he just going to send in units to the front? Yes, it appears so. He's going to go for a recall at the same time as well, because he's got a row of Reavers there for recalls, and he's got Corsairs there as well to fight against those Guardians. And pretty much, ooh, great stasis coming down there on the Guardians and Emulis, making it hard for Question to defend because he lost a lot of units stuck in stasis. Now Arbiter's coming in with more stasi or more recalls. Oh, stasi, he's going for mass stasis. He's pretty much just toying with his food at this point. He's going to throw stasis down on every single unit the Question has, and I think he's going to throw down a recall somewhere as well. Recall comes down, and he's got to get kill on, well, some drones, but not the drones that he wanted to kill. Those drones that he wanted to kill are there in the bottom side. Guardians there going down. There's pretty much nothing that can kill these Reavers right here. The Guardians have gone down, and the other units are stasis. Lurkers are being unburrowed and moved up to the top side, but they're going to go down before they can unburrow next to the Reavers. The Reavers there the Lurkers are right now in between the drones and the Reavers. The Corsairs are coming in to kill everything that he can, and there's an Arbiter coming in as well. Although the Arbiter, I think, doesn't have energy. Does not have energy for a stasis, and the Overlord's going down now as well. So Guardians, Mulis, and Overlords have gone down, and Reavers are going down as well, and he cannot kill the Reavers because he's got no detection. Other recalls coming in here, I assume, although, yeah, these both have energy for recalls, but also for stasis. And this is pretty much the best, this is the best move that llbarcode has made this entire game. He's taking on every single hatchery there, and he leaves the game because he wants to beat BM. He knows he's already won, so he's not going to try and get Question to call a GG. Yeah, Question there is wondering what the hell happened, but I count this as a 2-0 for llbarcode L. Barcode LK, that's the way. I keep saying llbarcode, although that's also correct. But yeah, not how I expected this game to end, although this game is pretty much a win for Barcode llbarcode. We've got Question here scouting the entire base, seeing what his opponent had, and he sees all the stargates, gateways, pretty much everything for Nexus. He sees all the robos there on the side as well, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 6 for a total of 11. Well, 12. That's one right there as well. So yeah, an interesting game, not the pacing I expected, but Question eventually yields. Technically yields. Yeah, time for replay number 3 and see how that one pans out. So Question is having a Zerg marathon. He's playing Zerg again, but this time we've got llbarcode K, or Barcode llbarcode K. Barcode man. He's on the Terran, as you can see right here. So that means we're going to get a little of a mix-up, not the same stuff we've been seeing so far. Instead, we're going to be seeing some of that Terran versus Zerg action. I hope the Zerg this time around, I hope Question this time around has a little bit of a more consistent game. Last time around, he just kept getting hit and hit by storm drops. The equivalent for a Terran would be Vessel Radiates or Tank Drops, which I think are going to be an option here for llbarcode L. I'm going to speed it up to about 3 minutes because nothing is going to happen, I'm sure. He goes for, well, a depot, a barrack, and a refinery, which means he's going for double Factory. He's going for a factory build order. 2 factories, in fact. Whereas Question is going for 2 hatchers and a pool without a choke, which is rather risky, which might actually be in favor of llllLL right here, because he's gonna have tanks up really, really soon. Although he went for a single factory, second factory has been delayed by a little bit. He's got a depot there, a bunker there. Just made himself a wall right here, and then a bunker is behind it. Now starting with depots behind there, gonna build another command center here soon. Well, not very soon, but somewhat soon. He's not making vultures, he's just going straight for siege mode. Question is scouting the map with Zerglings, so this is going to be interesting because I honestly like when a Zerg goes for a non-choke build order, because it means we're going to be seeing a lot of crazy tech stuff and a lot of crazy aggression from the Zerg player, but this time around Question knows that he's got time, so he's not really making anything defensive because he's scouting his opponent here. He's going for very quick raids. Alright, raids it is, and vultures it is as well. Did he get mines? I don't know. Did he get vultures speed? Probably. No, that's not speed. It appears he got mines. Or did he not upgrade anything? Nonetheless, going for a very quick raid to try and kill some of them overlords. But this gives Question a very great window of time to get his preferred method of attack up and rolling, because there's going to be some time before Question is going to get attacked here by his opponent. The opponent now does though have 2 Marines on the way, Vulture on the way as well, another Vulture already on the way from the base too. So 2 Vultures, 2 Marines ready to fight, because there's Zerglings with speed, and the Zerglings get a surround on the Vulture, and the Vulture goes down without fighting back. A little bit of mismanagement there from Barcode L. He's now building a wall in the front. I think that's a bunker though. It's a bunker. The Marines are going to go down before the bunker finishes up. Once again, another misstep here from L. Well, Barcode L wasn't expecting this, and now those Zerglings are going to try to get something more done. Kills an SCV instead of Marine, and the bunker finishes up. Marines in the bunker, Zerglings go down, but he did as much damage as he could have done. So science facility already up and running for Barcode. Another starport there as well, and still making more Marines with the barracks, and he's making another barracks, 2 more barracks, so he's going to switch over to more Marines. He built an extra command center as well to boost up his economy, but at the moment, Question is ahead in terms of workers. Though he's currently dealing with a very annoying Wraith, but the Wraith is not going to deal much damage here because there's 2 Highlanders there chasing the Wraith away. And we are seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 hatcheries here for Question. Spire there as well, so he's going for Mutalisks, 100% guaranteed. So there's no Queen's Nest yet, although this might become a Queen's Nest. It's an Evo Chamber instead. Tank there behind the wall. Vessel on the way would radiate, but I think we're going to be seeing some Scorches from Question, because this might be a dead giveaway. Like, if there's not more raids showing up, it might be a giveaway that he's going for vessels, although I'm not sure if Question is going through the same process of reasoning. He does have a Highlist ready, he's got Burrow on the way as well. This is a very weird game. Basically, all of llllBarcode's build orders have been rather odd, but I think this one is going to be successful to a degree, because he has 2 tanks there, and he's going to have 1 more tank. No, he's going to have a Vulture, 1 Marine in the bunker. Well, 3 Marines in the bunker, more Marines are on the way, so 6 Marines in total here ready to defend. Another Vessel going in for a Radiate, there's no Burrow, but this is going to kill some drones for sure. Question's trying to go in for an attack here at the same time as a Radiate is going to come into his base. Radiate flies in, and it doesn't have Radiate. He didn't get a Radiate. It's kind of like the same as the first game, the second game where he didn't get Storm Upgrade. But Question knows he can't attack into this because it's going to take too long to tear through those depots, and those tanks and Marines will simply kill whatever is there. So Question there, a little bit of luck that there was no Radiate researched from llLBarcode, although that's entirely his own fault. llLBarcode deserves the punishment that is his opponent stays alive and gets to build up a little longer, whereas llLBarcode has to wait and camp it out for now. Nonetheless, this game is very weird. This is like a very weird game, but everything is somewhat working out. Another Vessel coming in, but this time around he flies over Overlords, and the Vessel's going to go down to the Scorches, though now it's going to run away. Scorches on the chase, who will win? Obviously the Scorches do, but 3 Scorches go down. Killing one vessel, 2 would have been enough. But you know, killing it is killing it, and that's what he needs to do, and that's what he did. Oboler's there, providing himself a lot of vision. Vessel there on the bottom corner. He's got more buildings on. Alright, so he made 3 barracks and then does nothing with them. I'm not sure what's up with that one. At least they're going to provide vision, though. He's basically forced to adapt. I think he wanted to go for mass marines if the radiate managed to kill drones, but because the radiate killed drones, that's pretty much no longer an option. So he's forced to progress into mass tech. Vessel coming in for the bottom side, but once again, Overlord's there in between its destination, right on its path. So when it goes, Scorch is ready there. He's gonna come in. He's gonna kill them. Is he gonna do it? Yes, there he goes. So yeah, if one other vessel goes down, that's 3 vessels in total have been denied. 52 SCVs there for Barcode, and we've got 35 for Question, who's now adding on a lot of hatcheries. We don't often see this within the Korean fastest 1 versus 1 with Zerg, where they go for mass hatcheries and mass eco, but he knows that Barcode is doing the same thing. So this is pretty much a no-rush game. Even though completely unintentional, it is a no-rush game. And the Question is getting bigger and bigger. He's got a hive on the way, he's got 3 Evo chambers, all upgrades are up and running and being researched. He didn't make any Mutalisks, even though I thought he would. Instead he's going for Lurkers and Scorches and Zerglings. And of course, after he gets a hive, he's going to add on a Defiler mount as well. So very soon we're going to be seeing a lot of action. Hiveless have arrived on the scene to kill the barracks. He already killed 1, he's going to kill number 2 as well. Vessels are balling up there in the front, he's got more vessels. Well, no, Valkyries now on the way. And tanks. So tanks, vessels, Valkyries, the very standard combination of units that we always see in TVZ. So in a sense, even though the build order from Barcode has been weird, he's getting everything he needs. Scans coming down. I think he saw a lot of good stuff there inside of Question's base. He sees all the tech, sees that his greatest prior is on the way, and probably saw this Defiler mount there as well. Now we've got 7 hatcheries, 8, 9 hatcheries there for Question. I think he's feeling somewhat fine here because he's got 73 drones. He's been just droning up massively, very quickly. Lurkers there, standing there, menacingly. Kind of weird how I never took the time to look at what Lurkers look like. They're basically just ugly Hydralisks with more legs. Yeah, basically ugly Hydralisks with more legs. That's how I describe them. Yeah, this is very little action. I honestly thought there would be more action this game, or these games. But the action comes in droves. There's a little bit of downtime in between. This time around, the downtime is about 10 minutes. But I think we're going to be seeing very good action happening in droves. Scorches hunting for air units. But they won't find anything though. But nonetheless, scouting the map, getting himself information, and potentially, if anything had been there, he would have killed it without a doubt. He's just expecting something to be happening. Like even Question expects Barcode to attack any time. But Barcode is building up, getting bigger. Still on 61 SCVs there though. Usually you get a turn in TVZ at around 75, but he wants to go for 61, which has slowed down his progression a little bit because he's building a lot of stuff that he has trouble financing. Nonetheless, he's spending all his minerals very well, and his unloading tanks are up on the hill. Pretty smart move. Tanks are up on the hill, protected by Valkyries. Scorch are on the hunt for Valkyries and for vessels. You got a Queen there in the mix as well, and this is the good stuff that we wanted to see. Very specialized stuff here from Question. Pretty smart stuff, but a great radiate there coming down, but it still kills the vessel. Queen doesn't get to ensnare anything whatsoever, goes down without doing its job. Very sad story indeed, but he killed a couple of those small units. Well, actually pretty much nothing. He killed one vessel, and I think a Valkyrie there, almost a second Valkyrie goes down, almost. But El Barco is simply gonna set himself up a very strong fortress up on these hills and protect them with Valkyries and vessels. At least that's the plan, I'm sure. Goliath's on the way there as well, so only on 6 factories. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 starports in total, which is definitely overkill if you ask me. You honestly only need about 6 against Zerg, and mostly rely on factory units. But his factory units are going to be low this entire game, I'm sure, because he's not really adding on any more factories, not adding on these last couple of gazers, although this one is a pretty long distance right here. From all the way to there to there. You're gonna have to add another command center here to get maximum gas mining. Ooh, he kills a lot of drones here, just arrived in time. We killed about 12 here, so not a lot of them. I can't see the amount of kills because this is not the one that radiated. I cannot see the amount of kills. Well, this time he gets to radiate off though. He gets 1 kill, 2 kills. Pretty nice done. Pretty nicely done. But once again, 87 drones because he simply has so much minerals and so many hatcheries to replace his units with. He's massing up all kinds of weird tech here. Ultralisks, we've got the fighters, we've got guardians, the Varus, we had one here. It's great against Valkyries. And Bargo's just going to keep progressing deeper and deeper. Progressing with better setup on those hills, but there's nothing to protect these tanks up on the hills. The Scorch are hunting the dropships. Valkyries are going down to the Devourers, which means these Guardians now have free fire on those tanks up on the hill. And his very slow approach here from Barco is not getting much results at the moment, although 99 drones there are from Question, which is definitely a drone overkill. I think he thinks that he lost more drones than he in fact lost. So he's gonna notice this somewhere down the line because he only needs 78 or 75 drones instead of 98. But I think he's gonna use a couple of those drones to build stuff around his base. He's gonna build a lot of spores in the front or sunkens. 1 to 2. All units up on the hill have gone down here, but there's still tanks up on the hill here. He's protecting, patrolling, going back and forth. Overlords are spreading out over the map to get more vision. The lurkers here are denying entrance, but Bargo is not trying to gain entrance at the moment. Although he is moving away from using his dropships, and he's moving to simply walking or riding his units into the battle. So the unit's getting radiated here. I'm not sure if it's smart to use your radiates on stuff that doesn't have to be radiated. So I prefer saving radiates for Defilers and the Guardians, not on Devourers. Although sometimes they're good on Devourers, I prefer not to use them on Queens. I'm going to use 2 of them on Queens. Although now, once again, going in to try and clear out all the units here on the low ground. A lot of the Valkyries are in the air, so now the Devourers are coming in to debuff the Valkyries and reduce their damage and increase the damage that they take. Hydras on the low ground, taking down those Valkyries. Scorch is coming in there as well, but Scorch going down to the Valkyrie AoE. And once again, Vessels coming in at the same time as he's attacking there in the front. These Vessels are going to try to kill a lot of them drones. All drones are being burrowed up here. 1 12 by 12 is going to hang in there on the side though, because he knows that he can't really radiate or doesn't even have energy to radiate. He just sent them in to be annoying. So Valkyries here win the battle. Tanks behind the hill help win the battle and secure ground superiority for L. Although now Question has a couple of Ultralisks finished with full upgrades almost. Still has those Evo chamber upgrades on the way, but I think he got speed and carapace for those lurkers, Ultralisks. He added on 2 more hatcheries, so he's got a total of 9 hatcheries there for production. 1 here on the bottom, number 10. Not as many as I thought I would be seeing, but it still should be sufficient if he uses his tech diversity smart and well enough. So in he goes. Lurkers are moving forward. He's got some great swarms down to get pressure on those tanks. Tanks are being microed backwards, while tanks up on the hill are killing units on the low ground. Lurkers are burrowing up next to the hill, so they're going to keep firing on the tanks. They're up on the hill if he keeps having vision of them, although this one's going to have to move forward. Guardians coming in now as well, but they're flying straight into Valkyries, and the Valkyries are not being debuffed by the Devourers, because all the Devourers have come down, which means these Guardians are going to clear out tanks up on the hill, but they're going to pay for it with their lives as more Valkyries are coming in to take them down. Vessels arriving on the scene there as well. A couple of tanks behind the hill taking damage too, but nothing goes down. And now Vessels going in to kill the drones at the same time as that was happening. Is he going to do it? He's getting a radiate down. He's going to have to... Well, alright, he just burrows them. Burrows more, burrows more, burrows more. And so it looks like Question is just going to keep radiating those drones, and eventually those drones will be on low HP, as you can see right here. Low HP drones. All it takes is a single tick from the radiate, a single second of radiate, and a lot of drones on the next run-in will go down. But we're seeing more and more spores here all around the base from Question to try and stop those vessels from dealing any damage. Once again, tanks being loaded up on the hill. Bargo is playing a very technical game. He's not going for a simple, well, frontal mass attack. He's trying to set himself up very well, a very secure position. But Question is time and time again contesting this setup quite well, actually. He's doing quite a good job of contesting this. Although this time around he has no lurkers for Lurker Swarm. He loses his Defiler to the tanks there. Fuss is coming in again. Dropship there also coming in. Is there something in the dropship? Nothing in the dropship, but it can soon pick up units. Although now you have a Master up here moving out from Question, and there's no Valkyries in between to take them down. It's got Valkyries spawning here though, and Fessel's there as well. And he's seeing it with this engineering bay, but there's Mulis there to assist those overlords to get in. So the Mulis are tanking the turrets, and now we're going to be seeing a couple of those overlords unloading their units here on the low ground. Going to have to run all the way to the minerals there, though. If he wants to do any real damage, the fighter gets irradiated. The fighter there is stuck between the depots. The fighter gets irradiated down here, right? Well, swarmed down right next to the SCVs, and more of the radiates going down next to the SCVs, and he's going to kill a bunch of them SCVs there. A lot of them have already gone down. And it even looks like he killed his own SCVs there with the radiate. But at the moment, his main priority is securing that his command center stays alive. And he is prepared to lose his SCVs there for it. Although there's still a lurker there underneath that's dealing a lot more damage to those SCVs. That's pretty much all the SCVs that Barcode had are gone. And Question comes out with a really strong, amazing hit on his opponent, who responded a little bit slow, even though he saw it spotted out with his engineering bay. He was focused on fighting here, where a fight is happening at the same time as units are on the hill are being cleared out by Mulisks, and Valkyries are clearing out the Mulisks that are trying to clear out the tanks up on the hill. So the fight is progressing. Barcode has no gas though. This is a huge obstacle for him. He's got no gas and only 5,000 or so minerals to rebuild his mass with and rebuild his base with. Well, he didn't really lose much of his base. He's mostly just forced to rebuild his worker count. Yeah, the game looks a little bit slow, but a lot has been happening for the last 9 minutes, despite the 10 minutes of setup and build-up. I honestly think that Barcode is trying to play a little bit too technical and complex, even though he can honestly play a simpler approach. Another Master up here coming into his base. This time it's Lurker, so he's getting blocked a little bit. He's just going straight for the SCVs, and he's radiating his Ultralisk, which now means that the SCVs are in danger of dying to even the radiate, as the Lurkers are going for the Command Center. Command Center there, taking a lot of damage though, but it's getting repaired. But in exchange, he's once again losing SCVs to that radiate. The Question now has the upper hand, as he can keep reproducing gas units, whereas Barcode pretty much can make no gas units whatsoever. So these Valkyries here on the hill going down as well. Guardians are going to clear out the tanks. So the Devourers and Mulis are doing a great job there in helping Question gain superiority over the map. Though he lost a lot of his Overlords there, so he can't really remass up. He's got to make a new wave of Overlords first, but he's got enough units to go for a winning push here. Just look at this. This is a lot of Guardians, a lot of Devourers, and the only thing Barcode has is 5 tanks there and 4 more tanks here. Does have some stuff on the way though. He put a couple of new SCVs there on the gas, but he's running out of minerals very soon. So all Question has to do is keep sending in attacks to deal damage to Barcode, and Barcode is going to have to surrender very soon. Just look at this. Tanks in the front going down. Now there's only tanks in the back. There's pretty much nothing he can defend with. There's nothing to contest those Guardians. You just have a couple of Valkyries on the way here, but too many Devourers there to debuff those Valkyries. Radiates are going to come down soon, although this one's going to go down before it can radiate. This one's going to have a radiate up and running right about now, so one Guardian is going to go down. Valkyries are spawning as well, taking down the Mulis, but Devourers already coming in to debuff them, and a new mass of units has been sent out here by Question, who's arriving on the scene with more Zerglings. The Devourers are just hanging there to kill anything that spawns, but nothing is going to be spawning. Oh, tanks here. He's got only made 4 more tanks here, so he's got now 9 tanks. But Ultras are running in between, and very slowly going to tear through those tanks. The 2 tanks in the front have gone down. Goliath goes down, and more Ultras arriving on the scene there too. He's going to try to throw out one last final vessel attack to try and kill drones, but both vessels go down to the Scorches, and this is a done game. Just 1 tank here in the back. This is going to go down, and the Ultralisks come out victorious. Well played there by Question. Questionably played by Barcode. And Barcode calls DG. And that means we're now on a 2-1 score for this series. Which means we're going to go to the next game and see who it wins. Well, who wins it? Who wins the game? For the final game. we have Question on the Terran, which is different than the Zerg, so it's nice to see him playing something else than the Zerg. And Barcode on the Protoss. I hope his Protoss versus Terran is a bit more conventional, unlike what we saw last time. His Protoss versus Zerg and his Terran versus Zerg are both not very conventional in how he plays it. I think he wanted to try some stuff out with the Terran versus Zerg, but it backfired pretty hard because Question managed to fight his way through quite successfully. Let's get the first 2 minutes sped up. Super speed. Look at them go so fast. Look at them building so fast. Alright, so we have the first 2 minutes out of the way. Barcode is going for a semi-conventional build, although his choke is gonna be up very late, but he's got 2 Zealots on the way to help secure it. Marines are moving in. It looks like Question is thinking that Barcode went for 1 gateway, but he's got 2 gateways, so 2 Zealots are gonna be coming in to kill those Marines and help secure this choke. So it looks to be a little bit more conventional than what we saw the last times around, though that single Marine there arriving on the scene next to the pros, but the Zealot is spawning at the same time, which means that all the Marines are accounted for. So he finds his opponent. He sees that there's a +1 command center on the way there, because, well, Question knows there's no real fighting power coming in from Barcode anytime soon, so he can afford to stop making Marines and just go and make some command centers to help boost his economy, because likewise Barcode is boosting his own economy at the same time, and you want to match that economy, otherwise you're going to fall behind pretty damn hard if all you have is 1 command center with 40 SCVs and at 10 minutes and your opponent has 80 of them, 80 pros. There's going to be a lot of fighting power from Barcode coming in soon. Question gonna be forced to defend, it appears, because he's not going to be breaking through those cannons anytime soon. Those cannons are being protected by, I think, about 4 Zealots. Well, 3 Zealots, but pretty much the same thing. So yeah, tech is up and running. As we've seen in the past, Barcode has a pretty quick tech progression. 2 rows that are coming in at the same time, which leads me to believe he's going for a shuttle into 2 Reavers, although there's always other options available, of course. Citadel of Dune on the way. This Support Bay and Templar's Archive going to be up next. Mining from 3 assimilators, which is a little early. I personally like going for 2 and then add the 3rd one at about 5 minutes. This is, in my opinion, a little bit early. But nonetheless, I think Barcode knows exactly what he's doing. Tries to go into the front, but there's Marines there blocking access for those Zealots. So he's going for an engineering bay and 2 more barracks, because, as I've mentioned once before, if you're on location 6 or 12, which is the bottom middle and the top middle, you need more Marines to defend against shuttle drops and any aggression from the Protoss, because there's more directions shuttles can be coming from, so you've got more ground to cover, so to speak. For example, on a corner spot, you've got this entire portion and this entire portion that you have to defend, which pretty much all leads to one location right here, which means you have to defend this little portion there. You place Marines here and here, and you can intercept any shuttle that flies in. Now on this spot number 6, you've got this entire section right here on the side that you gotta protect. So you gotta put Marines here, gotta put Marines here, and gotta put Marines here, which requires a higher amount of Marines. Or you can even put them here, 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 and here in 4 different groups. That explains why we're seeing 5 barracks instead of 3, as you would usually see on a corner spot. Or on this spot right here, on 9 and 3. So you have more cannons coming out here in the front. And a gateway as well, because he wants to make sure that the Question cannot stim with the Marines and the medics and stim these cannons down and just brute force his way in. So we've got 2 Reavers on the way, 1 Robo there in the front with a Reaver and a shuttle as well. He didn't make a shuttle first. Wait, there's shuttles there on the top side, though he's hovering them outside of scan vision. Pretty smart there from Barcode. There's no anti-tank drop defense yet, but no tank drop is on the scene yet either. He starts out with turrets there on every single side to cover as much ground as he can. He stopped marine production for a little while because he feels satisfied for now, because he's using his scan to get information. Though right now we can't see anything, because that's an observer replay bug that stops you from seeing anything really. So he picks up 3 Reavers, 2 Zealots, or is he going to go for 4 Zealots, 3 Reavers? Yeah, 4 Zealots, 3 Reavers. There's space in one of them for 2 more units. But I think he's going to try his luck with those 3 Reavers and 4 Zealots. The timing though is a little bit late, because usually you see that first drop flying in at about 6:20, 6:30, and this one is going to fly in at about 7:10. Although he just finished up speed, so it's going to be 7:04. He's going to be flying in here, although 7:05 it appears. He's looking for an opening where there are no turrets, and he's just going to go drop in right here on the corner. He's going to try to fly in over those Marines. He's going to drop right next to the Marines. He's going to try to kill the Marines. The question is going to have to split his Marines very quick. The Zealots, the Reavers, are clearing out most of the Marines with more Marines coming in. This time around, they're somewhat split up, but in comes the Reaver shuttle micro, but he's forced to unload the Reaver as the shuttle is being targeted, and now the Zealots are trying to clear out whatever they can. That's pretty much the entire Marine mass that the question has gone down to 3 Reavers, 4 Zealots, and that's a big successful hit there from Barcode. Didn't kill any SCVs, but he killed a lot of Marines. So even though he delayed it, he got some shit done, which is important. And in response to losing his entire Marine mass, Question knows he's going to need more barracks to help him defend, because his Marine mass is simply so small. The 5 barracks already finished up though, help him rebuild his Marine mass quicker, but it's going to take a while nonetheless. Also, tank drop there being loaded up to go in for the tank drop on those minerals, but it appears that Barcode knows it's coming because he's adding on a lot of cannons. So I don't think there's any spot or any chance he's going to hit any of those drone probes. Maybe if he unloads right here, he might be within range to kill this stack right there, or maybe this stack, but he won't kill that many. There's always a chance if he unloads right here, that only these 2 cannons can fire, and there's a chance he can do it. Although he gets spotted out by the shuttles, but inadvertently he also spots out those shuttles, so he can move his Marines into locations to try and intercept them. Shuttle drop here on the side though, but it's empty, but it might just distract him just enough. Tank drop there coming in, he doesn't get any pro kills though. So yeah, as I mentioned before, there's pretty much no chance he's going to get any kills on those probes with those 4 cannons here, which take down tanks a little bit too quick. And here he's trying to wriggle his way around. He unloads up on the hill to storm the Marines, but the Marines are dodging the storm pretty much immediately. Great control there from Question, but now it goes in over the top bottom side as an opening has been created, but no Templars unload right here, so the probes and SCVs stay safe, and the Marines take down the shuttles and the Zealots and the Templars and come out victorious. Although that Templar still up on the hill, gonna have some time to rebuild its energy, and will probably get another storm off by the time another drop flies in. And the drop that I mentioned is already flying away. This time around it's going to come in over the left side of the map, whereas Barcode is simply, slowly and quietly, happily and cozily adding onto his base, because he needs more gateways if he wants to keep throwing out consistent attacks on his opponent, who is at the moment looking somewhat comfortable because he's got a lot of Marines to defend with. Shuttle comes in from the top side here, a lot of Marines are in between his target and where it currently is. Oh, Templars are loading on the low ground, but Templars going to go down. Templar, he gets a storm off on the SCVs because Question didn't pull his SCVs. He assumed he was safe. Really big mistake there from Question. Once again, assuming he would be safe by just target firing the shuttles and killing whatever was on the low ground, but it winds up backfiring. And Question is going to be scratching his head there with his own intelligence, because that was a questionable move by Question. He's been having some questionable moments. Got some questions for him later on. Although Question is currently doing his military service, so I can't really ask him questions because he's pretty much isolated from the rest of the world due to his military service. Mandatory military service. Comes in from the bottom side here. Barcode flies in over Marines, gets spotted out. Marines are going to stim onto those shuttles. Templars unloading on the low ground there. Templars storming on top of the Marines. The one more Templar there. This one used its storm, the other one got killed before it could storm. So he got something done, but Question was prepared to lose those Marines, although currently in his very poor state, with his mineral count low, losing anything is really painful. So anything is hard to replace, and you want to spend your minerals on SCVs and rebuilding, not on replacing units that you would have rather kept alive. But he comes in with another drop attempt that I was going to unload here up on the hill, I think, to try and disrupt this frontal portion there. The drop comes in here on his left side at the same time. But Barcode is first going to load units up on the hill to kill those tanks, but finds them with a drop at the same time here while he's multitasking. This one is going to go straight for the minerals, and there's nothing in between to intercept it. There's Dark Templars on the lowground, Templars there as well. The Templars go down. Dark Templars still wreaking havoc though, because it's just outside of detection range here in between those two turrets. He's going to get detected very soon once it kills a couple of those Marines. And the tanks up on the hill here have gone down as well. No, they have been loaded up into those dropships. And I think he's going to try to get a drop out this time around. This time he's got 4 tanks here on the scene. Oh, he's sieging up way too far away, and he's not going to get any pro kills. Instead, he's going to kill those cannons here. If he sieged up just a little bit closer, he might have gotten some pro kills and helped him get back into the game. Although, at the moment, he's doing quite a good job of getting back into the game, because he hasn't lost any SCVs since that last drop, and he's back on 50 SCVs at the moment, and he's very slowly adding on to his base, although his choke here is completely unprotected. But as I mentioned before, that drop there is forcing Barcode to focus on rebuilding some of those cannons and adding a nexus and adding more gazers, or assimilators, you call them. He's pretty much doing the same thing as in the previous games, where unlike a player like 458, who would, for example, already have gone for a frontal attack there, instead of investing this heavily into Stargates and into very early carriers, he would have probably gone for a frontal attack there. Although we sometimes do see 458 go for quick carriers, which is what Barcode at the moment is doing. He's adding a lot of Stargates to go for carriers, but usually you see these carriers come out at 12:30 or 13 minutes instead of the timing they're going to be coming out right now. So Barcode is not optimally spending his minerals, but he is getting some progress done. But the question is whether Question will be able to match this progression from Barcode and get some adequate anti-air up or not. Because he's going to need some Valkyries, maybe some Ghosts or Raids or Goliaths to fight against those carriers. But first, focus on this shuttle drop there, coming in from 2 separate directions. He's got 2 drops coming in, one from the left, one from the right. Both are loaded up with some units. This one's got, well, a couple of Zealots in there and Templars, but first is this one. He's flying straight into a lot of Marines here, though. Gonna get a lot of Templars there on the low ground, though. He's gonna storm on top of those SCVs. So a couple of SCVs go down, a lot of Marines go down there as well, and the fake drop comes in at the same time, but nothing on both there. He killed a lot. I think he saw about 5 storms here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think about 5. Killed no SCVs, but I think he killed about 20 Marines and a tank there. So he got something done, but not what he wanted to have gotten done. But at least he keeps Question busy for a little while longer while he is building his carriers, of which 3 have already finished and of which 6 are on the way. And more Zealots on the way there as well. Shuttles still being produced, Reavers also being produced. Getting upgrades, getting interceptor capacity, getting weapon upgrade, and armor upgrade for air. So we're going to be seeing carriers coming out very soon to try and finish off his opponent Question, who at the moment has no anti-air, but his scan might have gotten him some results, although it looks like he's going to go for the attack here because he sees that carriers are on the way, which means he has somewhat of a small time window to go for a counterattack before those carriers finish, because there's no cannons on the middle of the map preventing him from simply moving out cross-map and attacking the choke point here. Well, this is going to be interesting, because this determines whether Question is going to come out on top or probably die. Because a counterattack is going to be very strong here from Barcode after Question throws away his entire mass, although he's throwing down some turrets here. He's got a vessel there as well to detect those Dark Templars, but he's going to come in with a couple of carriers and Zealots and Dark Templars here to try and stop at least some units, although he kills the vessel here on the top side. The vessel goes down. Does he have scan energy? I don't know. The turrets there are getting denied by the units on the low ground, although the Dark Templar has gone down. Marines are going to take care of those interceptors, but there's not that many Marines here in the mix anymore, although more of them are spawning. He doesn't have Goliaths on the way at the moment. Doesn't have any anti-air units on the way except Marines. He's just going to try to brute force his way through, but we're now on 9 carriers from Barcode, so this is a massive mistake here from Question, who is, I think, underestimating the timing of Barcode's carriers right here. More carriers are on the way even, so he's going to go for, I think, about 12 or 14 carriers here in total. And yeah, he's just going to have to go in and start killing stuff here. And he's got 2-1-1 upgrades on his interceptors, which is pretty strong. Definitely stronger than these 0-2 Marines, although the 2 attack damage on those Marines is pretty damn effective if you stim those Marines. So a lot of interceptors actually going down here to those Marines. Marines are actually pretty strong against interceptors if the carrier count is not in the double digits, which it currently isn't. We're looking at 9 carriers. Yeah, although there's a lot of Dark Templars coming in here, but scans are going to come in from Question very soon, I'm sure. He's got 2 attack on his tanks as well, so he's got all the attack damage upgrades pretty much almost completely upgraded, except for the armor. He's got Karen boosters on the Karen rockets. What's it called again? Well, I can't see it. I can't see what it's called. Yeah, it's called Karen boosters. I was right. We have Karen boosters for his Goliaths on the way for more Goliath air range. Marines are still attacking those carriers, but this time around we've got double-digit carriers. It's very difficult for the Marines to fight into, although the Marines are killing intercepts quite quick, and Goliaths arriving on the scene as well, but Goliaths don't have upgrades yet. So I think this is just going to clear it out very slowly here, unless Question can keep up his macro. He'll keep sending in units. Dark Templars there taking down tanks, so tanks eventually, the scan eventually takes Dark Templars down, although more Dark Templars are spawning, so he's just going to keep spamming Dark Templars, and Question is going to have to rely on his scans. More Marines arriving on the scene, Goliaths arriving on the scene as well. He knows he just has to kill those interceptors, which Marines are great at, Goliaths as well, and he's actually doing quite a good job of taking down those interceptors, but Marines, of course, are going down pretty damn quick against interceptors as well, so it's pretty much just going to be a game of who can mass faster than the other. A lot of probes there being sacrificed, thrown away for the greater purpose, because I do admit he had a lot of probes there, and Question eventually does come out just short of winning that fight, although it was pretty one-sided in the end, because the carrier mass is simply too strong for him to fight into. So now means those Marines are in the front are at risk of dying, although Dark Templars go down first, probes go down as well. A lot of Goliaths here actually, but not enough to fight against those carriers. But more units are on the way. He's got an EMP there with a vessel on the way as well. He's got armor for Marines being upgraded as well. I think he just finished level 3 weapon upgrade for his Marines. Let's see, level 3 weapon upgrade for Marines has been finished. And the Marines are actually doing a pretty good job, buying him a lot of time, but he's now going to be forced to pull back to his base. On the upside though, he did kill this entire frontal portion there, so drops are going to be a little bit harder to execute for Barcode, although he has a shuttle with a Reaver and 2 more Reavers on the way, waiting to be sent into the fray. And also his upgrades are pretty good, 2, 2, 3. So in terms of armor upgrades, he is definitely ahead of his opponent. Once again, a couple of units there being sacrificed by accident, because he still had them rally pointed into Barcode's base, not on purpose but by accident, because sometimes if you rally point right here and the Marine stands on top of it and something spawns while the Marine is right here, the rally point system will assume you rally pointed on the Marine, and if you then send the Marine, for example, to the enemy base, the rally point will change. That's something that can happen sometimes if you don't pay top tier attention to every single little detail going on. But this is going to be a pretty significant drop here from Barcode, because this is going to be a game winner if he manages to hit those Reavers onto those workers. But he unloads there right next to the depots. He's just going to kill depots first, and these depots are not going to be hard to take down for him, because he's got 2 Reavers there on the low ground, a couple of Dark Templars, and a lot of carriers, and these depots go down so damn quick. He's already down to 162 supply cap, 154, and it's going to go down even faster and faster. I think he's going to succeed in killing down all these depots. He's making new command centers there to try and replace his lost supply cap. And Question is having a tough time here to defend, because he's going for a counterattack at the same time. He's going for a base trade, so he's going to try and kill Barcode here with his mass, while incidentally at the same time trying to keep himself alive here. On the downside though, he cannot replace any units because he's losing all of his depots and losing his SCVs here as well. He's got nothing left to defend. This is going to be the base trade in its most purest form, but he was a little bit too aggressive and sent a lot of his Marines there into their death against those cannons. But he is going to take down this base, that is for sure. Oh, it's not going to be fast. Not going to be fast as these carriers and Reavers taking down his own base. He's flying his command centers away to safety. He's got nothing in production because he actually has a lot of in production here. Because losing his SCVs means he's opening up supply space, but he's losing his command center and his depots, which means that the same supply space that was opening up is closing and being shut off. And this is never going to be able to fight against those carriers, I'm sure. But he's going to get there, he's going to get here sooner or later, and both players are now supply blocked. Although Question is more significantly supply blocked. He's losing his base very, very quick here. Not how I expected this game to end. Not how I expected this game to go. Although, I can with confidence say that Question is never going to win this one. But he's getting close. He's getting closer to killing what he wanted to kill. It's just we already know it's set in stone. Because everything here has gone down. He does have some of them Goliaths on the low ground, but not enough. It's not enough. Reavers there also still alive, though I can't select them at the moment. I can't select them. There it is. 2 Reavers below the carriers. Taking down everything that's there on the ground. If the carriers weren't already taking it down. So yeah, he killed all the probes, he's gonna kill the nexuses, and he's gonna kill whatever he can as fast as he can. It's gonna be a race against the clock. 2 more gateways are on the bottom side, he's taking down those stargates there as well. Carriers are on the return back to base. Whereas the tanks are trying to kill as much as they can, as quick as they can. Both players are supply stuck. He does have pylons on the way with that 1 probe that managed to get away. The 1 probe that managed to get away. If he kills it, he prevents... Alright, he couldn't kill the probe. Probe stays alive, which means that Barcode has a lot of rebuilding ability. Whereas Question, at the moment, only has 2 SCVs there, and 1 command center there is full out of the base. He's got a couple of command centers here in the front, but it looks like this is a done game. He even gets disruption webs there on those marines there on the low ground, so he's not going to get much done. He's trying to get that probe with the marine. Is he going to get it? He got the probe. He got the probe. He got the probe. But now it's a race against the clock. Because now he has to rebuild his entire base with only 1,500 minerals. And that's definitely, completely, totally, 100% impossible to do. It's impossible to do, and he knows it. He knows. 122 supply in pure mass and units against 44 supply of a mixture of SCVs, Goliaths, and tanks. He knows he can't do it. He knows he can do it. This is a very sad day for Question. Barco did a pretty convincing PvT here. I'm kind of impressed. He did a pretty good game here. Some things were a little bit unconventional and not timed exactly as you would see it timed by perhaps superior Protoss players. Question played really well here, although he decided to base trade, which I don't think was the right choice. He's defending himself quite well here with the Goliath. Some Goliath micro there trying to kill as many interceptors as he can, but because Barcode has 18,000 minerals, he can replace every single interceptor he loses. There's not much Question can do about this one. This is over. This is over. This is definitely over. He's got 36 minerals. He's got 2 SCVs mining minerals, now 3, but nonetheless, it's basically nothing. It's going to be a matter of time before he decides to tap out and call the GG. And now the Goliaths are going to go down. Well, they're microing backwards pretty well. Though, disruption web there on the Goliaths. He's just going to keep throwing disruption webs on the Goliaths. Carrier mass coming in. Going to kill anything it sees. No mercy. I'm going to speed this up. No mercy from Barcode. Having a nice little conversation there. Yeah, this is over. Alright, he leaves eventually. So after 3 minutes of agonizing, bleeding to death, he leaves. And Barcode L, Barcode K, no clue who this guy is. I'm 100% sure it's not a person I know. Comes out and wins the series eventually. Question falls short by quite a bit. He held himself quite well in most games, but he didn't stand a chance. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this rather lengthy video, which is going to take hours, forever to upload to YouTube. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you have a good day.